I mean to say these two statements that you said, they're not contradicting each other. That they stick more to the conflict,
Yeah.
and then you say that they want to resolve it sooner.
That's the only difference. They are not contrast to each
That
other.
means they don't want to
Their
stick to the.
approach is different. It's slightly different. Man wants to ignore it, but they keep it in their heart. They want to carry it home. They want to carry it for the rest of their lives. But woman seemingly is more interested in the conflict, but she wants a solution earlier and easier, in an earlier, easier way. This is the difference. So this is a different approach. Yes.
We should ignore the cultural factor in this study also. Most of us are taking it in a Pakistani environment.
Mhm.
But the studies, I believe they are in American or Western
They were
environment.
conducted, yes.
So here the situation will be different.
Mhm.
Here men are usually when a conflict arises,
Mhm.
either they are on the side of fighting or whatever, or there is a concept of middle power, like we try to ignore it,
Mhm.
and the conflict is not actually resolved, but it's actually building up its momentum.
This is what I'm saying. You ignore it, but inwardly you are nourishing it.
It keeps boiling in the.
It keeps boiling, and sometimes it ends in something fatal.
But then we do also have to make a mention that probably we are misunderstanding that thing, that the women and men in cultural, that is this organizational culture that we are talking about, not otherwise. Because here we'll be having the business women and the business guys,
That's right.
not just the ordinary women,
Mhm.
those who are there at fighting at home, say for that matter. For them, the conflict is different. Here, on some say principal matters, or for that matter, some business decision.
Okay, I got your point. The conflict can be different, but the reaction is always universal. And how we behave, this is what we are discussing. We're not discussing the type of the conflict. Women, when I say women is same, Pakistani and Canadian women is, American women is same. You may disagree, you must be astonished. Trust me, I'm just quoting some of the traits of American women, which is universal. They share with Pakistani women. I had a friend of mine, she was also my lawyer, and she was Deputy Attorney General of the state, a very influential woman, very big. But she had a case with her husband. There was going to be a divorce between them, and trust me, I saw that woman as a woman at that time. Till the last moment, she was begging her husband to come back. It was her, not him. So few things are universal. Okay, scenario can be different. Educated scenario or less educated scenario can be different, but our approaches as human beings are almost the same. Yes.
So you said that women are more stick to their conflict,
Mhm.
but they are also want to resolve as
Mhm.
soon.
Mhm.
These two statements are not contradicting. If they want to resolve sooner, so why they are there?
They are going towards it with a positive mind. They want an end to it. They know that if this is left unresolved, this may bring disastrous results. That's a positive approach.
And then what stickness means? You wanna ask that then when we say
How
that
they want, what type of solution they
stickness?
want?
No. What type of stickness they have with the conflict?
Stickness, that's
Yeah.
right. Whether they just keep mentioning it or they just want, they keep consulting it. Mostly they consult. They just don't stick to that. They don't, वो तानेबाजी नहीं करती. This is what the study says. तानेबाजी नहीं है. They want it to happen. नहीं. For instance, you have your friend, she's a female, and you had a conflict with somebody. Your friend, female friend, is saying, यार please आओ से बात करते हैं. Let's resolve it right now. And you say, देखा जाएगा यार, next week देखा जाएगा. Yes. This is what happens. So even the guests are agreeing. That means they're fully involved in the lecture. How lucky I am. Thank you, I'm flattered. So
we
she
can
says,
say,
"Nahi,
so we can say that the women, they have the lighter ego as compared to the men.
that is for sure. Women do not suffer that ego problem as much as men do. Maybe that is the reason behind it. But this is what we are talking. The conflict in the scenario of having a conflict. ठीक है जी? You got it? So the way they react and conflict, उनके conflict they are different than men. Their conflicts are different. What do you think? What is your observation? Issues different है. उनकी पसंद different है. ठीक है? रोना उनका different चीजों के लिए, which has no importance for you guys. ठीक है ना, बारिश हो रही है ना, वो जो आपको बताता होता हूँ कि बारिश पे ये रिएक्ट जैसे करती हैं, you आप बारिश पानी आ रहा है, इधर हो जाए यार, छतरी काट यार, इधर उधर, बट दे स्टार्ट एंजॉयिंग, यू नो, दे वांट टू एंजॉय. जब वो मूव होती है, मेरी I quoted my wife when we were moving from one apartment to the other one, she was missing that scene, हाय बालकनी से ये दोबारा नजर नहीं आएगा, she started crying. There was a swimming pool और उसके ऊपर दरख्त था झुका हुआ, बड़ा ही अच्छा सीन था, so she was crying for that. उसका इशू ही और था. मैं I was more excited, new place, new things, new people, new friends, everything new. So this is, you know, of course it plays a role. But we're talking about the conflict, the approach towards the conflict, and the type of the conflict. Alright, styles. How do we resolve the conflict? Now we have the choices. Now, how do we resolve the conflict? We have a disagreement. What do you think? Be honest. This is what most of us do.
Exactly.
This is acceptable at some places. This is acceptable. There is a debate competition. This is acceptable. You are going to buy a car. You are in the market. This is acceptable. That you think that you have won. आज दुकानदार ने मैं लाया, वो इतने पैसे काट रहे हैं. You are a fool. He never goes to loss. दुकानदार को कभी आप loss नहीं दे सकते. He has earned something from you. This attitude is called competing. I win, you lose. And you celebrate it sometimes.
Yes.
When you come out of the meeting, you do, मैं गल नहीं कर रहा ना चुप. This is approach. This is competition, competing. This is absolutely not acceptable in corporate culture. Okay, your life there is very short if you are carrying this type of approach. I win, you lose. This is indifference. Behissi. Ignore the person. For instance, my father used to say that when you come across a bad person, you have a problem with the bad people. The best way to avoid that person. The best way to deal with the person. बुरे से है बुरे का समझो अगर बेहतर इलाज बुरे से है दूरी बुरे का इलाज. That is what my father told me. But he talked in some other context. Here we are talking in a corporate culture. How when we are working with our co-workers, especially, what we are supposed to. I lose, you win. It's called avoiding, and this.
So you win or you lose?
No.
I lose, you lose. Sorry,
Yeah.
I lose, you lose. ना खेलेंगे ना खेलने देंगे. मेरी भी नहीं मानेगी, पुत्र तेरी भी तो मनी नहीं ना गई. The boss didn't even agree with you if he didn't agree with me. So both of us lost. This is also something very disastrous.
But it's not create an irritation, because when we
Yeah, what are the impacts if you have this approach? I lose, you lose.
because when we said you lose, I lose, then also you lose. It can create an irritation or some
It
sort
is
of thing.
irritation for both of you.
Yeah.
Both of the parties, not for the one person, both of the parties. Yes, that is why we are not in favor of that. I'll ask you which one you favor or not.
Then
So what do
how
you
we
think?
can say that it is avoiding?
It is,
Avoiding.
it's avoiding.
Yeah, but
You are not trying to go for the resolution,
Yes.
for the solution of the problem. You just leave it on time. You just avoid it. You don't want to face
but when
it.
we are going to avoid, then we are neutral. But here in this condition, we are not going to
The
neutral.
conflict is not resolved. When you avoid something, the conflict is not resolved. It's still there, and it keeps growing. ये जीजू रहता है, ये बड़ा होता जाता है शायद. ये छोटा सा पौधा है. The conflict is a very small plant, and if you do not, take care of this, you do not prune it, it becomes a big tree.
Okay.
All right, that is what happens with the death of 35 million people and then 25 million people. Yes.
So when we are in our conversation, when we want to avoid somebody, we say that I win, I lose, and you win. When we want to avoid somebody in general life, so
I win, you lose.
No.
No,
That is avoiding. That is avoiding.
in Punjabi, या तू जीते या ਅਸੀਂ हार.
I lose, you. Yes, वो आगे आ रहे हैं. Be patient. We are also coming to that. But right now, this is losing by both sides. I lose, you lose. You have temporarily you have a satisfaction. If your point was not accepted, his argument was also not welcomed by the superiors. So this is losing from both sides. This is also bad. This is called avoiding.
There is another frame of reference to look at this. Because I have lost, so I will never let you to win.
Same is it. It's one way or the other. Next one.
Accommodating.
अच्छा जी.
This is accommodating.
मैं जीता. Oh sorry. मैं हारा तू जीती. You never say मैं हारा तू जीता. You always say अच्छा मैं हारा तू जीती. You are more accommodating. You're more accommodating towards. Anyway, but this is another attitude. I lose, you win. This is surrendering. You surrender yourself. You sacrifice
It is
for somebody else.
It is mostly in the married case.
How do you know that? Because over here, I think we two people are married. Anybody else?
But-
Anybody else married? No.
So, but you have shared a lot of your experience.
We didn't know Rana is also married. Yes, Rana.
He suppose he's married.
All right. I didn't know that. Congratulations, huh? So who's the guy?
Guy? Oh,
All right. I'm not interested to know what your spouse is. All right, Ji. This is accommodating. Apparently, you accommodate others. This is the last person. इनकी भी absent लगानी है आपने. Okay, if they don't come back, because this is for their benefit. They're not your students. They were guests. All right. All right. All right, Ji. Accommodating. Apparently, this is very good that you accommodate others. You sacrifice for others. But trust me, it is also not welcome. How is it not welcome? Why? Are you in favor of that? You tell me which one you favor. Let's go. The first one, this one, of course. Do you agree? Of course not. Avoiding.
no. No. So I win, you win. Collaborating.
I lose, you win.
Sir, it's a good in some extent
Mhm.
when we basically don't want to bring the situation or
Okay.
problem.
Okay, so we are sacrificing for some other people. Okay, why this thing is not good? Psychiatrists still do not support it.
So because a person who is accommodating, he could go in the depression due to this, or
Okay.
due to the sacrifice, or he feel burden on himself or herself.
That's right. These are the
due to
after
this.
effects.
Yeah.
Once he has sacrificed, but there is a still there's a small residue which is left in this heart, and again it starts growing.
Yeah.
Apparently, at that time, you are welcomed by the other people. Oh, Shabbat, Shabbat, बहुत अच्छा फैसला यार, sacrifice. Look at the people are appreciating you. At that moment, you are flattered by that appreciation. You make a decision, but later on, you keep thinking that was a bad decision. Minutely. This
Curse,
is also not good.
curse could be happen. I mean, they say it could create a curse in the mind of the sacrifice.
By the passage of time,
Yeah.
it is harmful.
So what is your objective, by the way? It is
Yeah.
strive successfully towards progression. When you are losing, then you are
Right,
not
that is
giving.
right. That is right. If you are losing, how you are winning? That is right. Beautiful. This is what he's reminding me of the very first talk we had.
Yes, sir.
To survive successfully
Towards progression.
progression. This is the objective of interpersonal communication skills. That is why we teach you guys here. Survive successfully towards
Progression.
progression. So there is no progression. I lose, you win. The other person is winning. Other person is progressing. You are not.
Hmm?
Do you favor this?
No.
It
Do you
may,
favor?
it may be good in certain circumstances, but it on that situation matters.
Mhm.
For example, if the competitor is your dear friend or your parents or your siblings, whatever, in that situation you may, but in the organization context, it is never supported.
In organizational context, it is not beneficial
That's it.
always. Alright, Ji. So you don't like this one as well. You don't
Yeah.
do you support this one?
No, sir.
You don't.
But it is said that the game is not over because I have not yet won.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Look who's saying. Beautiful. The next one. Collaborating. I win,
You win.
you win. How would you explain it? That when the conflict is over, both the parties leave with what type of feeling? Feeling of winning. And I have seen this. One of my friend, he runs a school in Sialkot. I was sitting in his office and a parent came over there. The parent was furious, very much furious. And he wanted to get his kid out of that school. There was some issue. Of course, he was paying heavy fees. Whatever he was saying, my friend was saying, yes, you're